What's up everyone? Today I'm going to be talking about my buying experience with the 2022 Toyota Tacoma SR. So first I'm going to go into a little bit of a background about myself, then I'm going to get into why I specifically chose the Toyota Tacoma SR, then I'm going to be getting into my experience with the dealership, and then I'm going to talk a little bit about the build, spec, and price about the Toyota Tacoma that I reserved about a month ago. So without further ado, let's get into it. So I just graduated last December and I got my first job in January of this year, and I thought it was a great time to buy a new car. I've been driving a 2005 Cadillac CTS for the past 4 or 5 years, and it's getting to the end of its life, and I thought it was a great time to get something new that I'm going to be keeping forever. So my budget was around 30 to 45K. So when I was looking around for a new car, I started looking at a dream car of mine that was the C7 Corvette, and then I realized that was not a good idea because of my position financially, and then I moved on to wanting an electric car, and I ended up deciding not to do that because the range of electric cars right now is just not where I would want it to be if I were going to be putting $40,000 or $45,000 down onto an electric car. So that brings me to why I even decided to buy a truck. So my brother actually has a truck, and for a couple years when he was at college, I was driving his truck everywhere. It was my daily driver, and I just started loving having a truck. It was amazing being able to throw whatever in the trunk and pick up couches and large pieces of furniture. And I also liked sitting up a little higher in a truck. So I realized the best option for me right now would be to just buy something reliable that holds its value, that I can use for just about anything, and then keep it for forever. Or worst case scenario, I sell it because I want to get a different car, and in that case, since the resale value holds pretty high, I'll be able to trade it in or sell it and buy something else that I really want. So that was specifically why I chose to buy a truck. Now, why did I choose to buy a Toyota Tacoma? Well, there's a couple reasons why I decided to do this. So the main reason I wanted to get a Toyota Tacoma was because this is the last year of the third generation of Tacomas. Next year, they're going to probably be putting in a four-cylinder turbo. I can't talk today, but that's very similar to what they're doing with the Tundra. So the Tundra just recently got a 6-cylinder turbo, and they're having a ton of issues with the turbo, so I really wanted to steer clear of that and just get a 2022 last model year and just go with that. Another reason why I chose to get a Toyota Tacoma was because of the styling. I just love how they look compared to any other mid-size truck that I've been looking at. And lastly, I chose to buy a Toyota Tacoma because next year when they roll out with the new ones, they're going to be using new parts, they're going to be using a new engine probably, so that's going to cause the wait times for the new ones next year to be even longer than they are this year, and I'm already having to wait for around 3 months. So I thought it was a great idea to just get a Toyota Tacoma this year. I think it was about a 3-month wait. I've been waiting for around a month and a half, and I have around a month to go, so a little under 3 months. All right, so now I'm going to get into my experience with the dealership. And this was interesting because all of you know dealer markups are happening right now on a pretty large scale, and Toyota Tacomas are really popular, so a lot of Toyota dealerships are marking up their Tacomas by about $5K. So I contacted 3 different Toyota dealerships around my area, and one of them said that they weren't doing dealer markups. So I took their word for it. I went in to see if they had any Tacomas that fit what I wanted, and when I went there, they didn't really have anything that I wanted. It was a bit above my price range. They had like a TRD off-road and a TRD Pro and a lot of the TRD models coming in, and they didn't have any SRs or SR5s, which I was kind of looking for an SR, SR5 because the base price of those is, just under 30K. So the specs that I needed in a Toyota Tacoma were a 6-cylinder, 4x4, double cab. So I didn't care about the bed length, didn't care about rims or anything, because I can just put those mods on after. So after I went in and talked to the salesman, I got his number, and he started texting me when they had new orders coming in throughout the next week and a half. He would text me if they had like a TRD off-road or TRD Pro, again, like a bunch of the upper level models, and I just wasn't looking for that. So I kept telling him, no, that's not really what I'm looking for right now. So about a week and a half later, he texted me and said, okay, we got 3 models coming in. I think one of them, maybe 2 of them fit the spec that I wanted. And he said, just come in as soon as you can. So I was like, all right, I'll come in 4 hours because I had some stuff to do. And he was like, no, you should probably come in like now. And I was like, all right, then I'll come, because he was telling me that most of these Tacomas that come in, they're already reserved 3 months before they even hit the lot. So I went into the dealership and I sat down with the salesman. He showed me 3 different models, and one of them was a Toyota Tacoma SR with 4-wheel drive, the double cab, everything I needed. And there were a couple of things that were extra that were added on. I think it was floor liners and door sill protectors. And it had a base price of $32K, and that was perfect for me. So I went ahead and reserved it. It cost $500 to reserve, and I've been waiting ever since. So now I'm gonna get into financing. As I said, the base price of the vehicle was $32, and with a bunch of other fees and processing and all of that stuff, it ended up being around $36. So instead of going through the dealership for financing, I'm going through my company's federal credit union, and they approved a loan for $31K at 2.4% interest because my cosigner has above a 720 credit score. My credit score is not that good. Some stuff happened last year that just completely destroyed it, so I'm trying to build it back up now. So what I'm gonna do is, once the car hits the lot, I'm gonna go to the dealership, I'm going to get a purchase order, bring it to the federal credit union, and then they're going to set up my loan at whatever it ends up being. I'm assuming that after a down payment, it's probably going to be around $26K, which is $5K under what I got approved for already. So it should be smooth sailing. I should be good to go. Keep in mind that this is my first time buying a car, dealing with financing, all of this stuff. So if you guys have any tips or I did something wrong, just put it down in the comments and I'll check it out. All right, so now I'm gonna get into the build, spec, and price. I'm gonna go to the Toyota website and I'm just gonna build it for you guys with their little, their build app. And then you guys are gonna be able to see what color is it, what does it look like, stuff like that. All right, so it already comes pre-selected with SR. So I'm just gonna hit next step. And now I'm gonna select double cab with a 5-foot bed. Here I'm gonna select 3.5 liter V6 engine with 4-wheel drive. And the color I got was actually magnetic gray. I just told him that I was looking for dark colors, so he was able to get one with metallic gray. And the one I reserved didn't have a tonneau cover, but I'm gonna add it here because I'm gonna be adding that to my order. The additions were the all-weather floor liners and door sill protectors, also a bed lighting kit, and the last additional accessory was the door edge guards. Now let's take a look at some images. So it's pretty basic, everything's base, no fog lights. It's got the basic rims. I like the color. It's gonna look great in person. Here's the back and the interior. I am a fan of the interior. I think it's nice and minimal. I like the gray cloth. So overall, I think it's gonna be a really good looking truck. This is the documentation they gave me when I went in to reserve it. So this has basically all the information about the vehicle base price, total installed packages and accessories, delivery, processing and handling fee. It leaves out some of the other fees that were on the financing document. With all of that, the total MSRP was $34,717. All right, hope you guys enjoyed that video. I want to keep making videos with the Tacoma once I get it, once I put some mods on it and take it out, maybe off-roading. I have a couple drones that I wanted to use to get some really cool shots. So subscribe for more, follow the journey. I'm going to be starting some other series not related to the Toyota Tacoma. One's probably going to be with my drones. Another's probably going to be a room setup tour and how I did a lot of the stuff in my setup. I also wanted to start reviewing some of my technology that I have in the house because I've been putting a good amount of money into my computer setup and all that stuff. So just subscribe for more. If you have any suggestions or you want to criticize anything I'm doing, just leave it in the comments. I appreciate all feedback. I really do. Good or bad, doesn't matter to me. All right, that concludes the video. Stay hydrated.